Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, what we're going to talk about on this episode is another case of red flag laws not performing as prescribed by gun controllers. We're going to dive into the St. Louis tragedy. This is something that we need to show proper respect for, but because we're showing proper respect, we also have to dive in and analyze what happened to be able to move forward in a positive manner. On a very high level, red flag laws, police action failed miserably. On a very high level, hardening schools and needing more mental support clearly works. The hardening schools is one of the reasons that we had such a high survival rate in this incident. This is a lot of stuff that is hard to talk about, but we need to address it as we move forward as a nation because red flag laws are not performing their duty in their prescribed delivery. They are only infringing upon the rights of law-abiding Americans. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one. We're going to say a quick word from our sponsor, Established Titles, and then we're going to dive in, and again, I'm looking forward to hearing you down in the comments. The Established Title Packs give you 1 square foot of dedicated land in an estate in Edelston, Scotland, along with a certified crest like you see right here. This is based on a historic Scottish custom, which will allow landowners to become lords or ladies, and if you act now, you can be in the LOA little plot so we can have our own little fiefdom. This is a fun and novel way to preserve the woodlands of Scotland. They work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for Our Future to support global reforestation efforts. You could officially change your name to Lord or Lady and get it on your plane tickets and also on your credit cards. This makes a great last minute gift, and they have couple packs which you can get adjoining plots of land together. In order to give the ultimate conversation piece for that special someone, Established Titles is running a massive sale right now. Plus, if you use the code Langley, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/Langley to support the channel now. All right, my brothers and sisters. So as I mentioned in the intro, one of the key things about doing this type of report is respect. I want to honor and respect the victims of this tragedy, but we also need to be able to analyze what happened, what failed, and what did not fail, what had the ability to succeed, and how we can move forward as a nation, because this is a national situation. Now, of course, the issue that I'm going to talk about is the St. Louis tragedy that happened on Monday. Everything is linked in the description box below. And again, we can all have an impact on this, but we have to use rationality and realize what did and did not work effectively. St. Louis school shooter obtained a gun after his family worked with police to have one removed from their home, officials say. That's red flag action. Whether there's an official document form and filed, that's a police environment taking a firearm from somebody. Okay? I'm not suggesting that they shouldn't have. I'm not suggesting that they should have. That's not what this video is about. But the family members in this case contacted police and said, we have a child or a member of our family who has mental issues and they cannot legally have a gun. The police came, the gun was confiscated. Somehow, this outcome occurs. That's why this is so important. The big thing I want you to remember this entire time while I walk through this, Chris Murphy, Mr. Gun Control in the Senate, shut down a bill by Ted Cruz that was introduced about a month ago. We covered on this channel. That would give money for hardening schools and mental support staff across the board. Both things that worked in this scenario and would have worked better if we had the mental support. On the other side, red flag laws failed miserably, again, just like Indianapolis last year. This is something that's becoming a trend. Let's keep going. This came out today as more information develops. Months before a 19-year-old shooter opened fire Monday inside a St. Louis high school, his family told police he had a gun and had removed it from the home, officials said Wednesday. So the issue was already being resolved. Police were involved, they were aware the firearm was removed, and yet this still occurred. The proper mental health services were not available, and the hardening of the schools is the only reason this is not a much worse outcome. I'm not going to address that in this video, but there's other reports that are showing the hardening of the schools were extremely effective. The family were aware the gunman had mental health struggles and did everything that they possibly could have done to help him, including getting him therapy and medication and committing him on several occasions. Legally cannot own a firearm. But sometimes it's not enough, interim St. Louis Police Chief Michael Sachs said at a news conference. So we had committed to a mental health facility. We had police involved with confiscation of firearms from someone who cannot legally have them because of the mental issues. You had family involved, also trying to support and remove any type of danger. At what point does this start to work? Because we have multiple occasions where this exact same scenario occurred, just like Indianapolis last year in the FedEx facility, It fails. Let's keep going. Quote, while it is not yet clear when or how the suspect came to be in possession of the firearm after this incident, we can confirm that the firearm involved in this incident is the firearm used, said the police chief on a statement Wednesday evening. So it's the exact same one that was taken from them or was encouraged to get away from him as an individual. At a certain point, you have to look and get away from ideology and understand what's going on. The red flag law systems have some serious problems. Your rights can be infringed without you even knowing about it. No due process rights for you because someone said something bad about you and you also didn't have the right to defend yourself or face your accuser. All core tenets of our entire society. It's failing on this end. It's hurting law-abiding citizens on the other. We need to abandon this fool's errand. But let's continue. Shooter's mother wanted the gun out of the house. She clearly knew something was wrong. The shooter's family were aware that he had obtained the gun, although it's not clear when he got it, Sachs said. The Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is investigating to track the source of the gun sale. It wasn't a legal gun sale because it didn't go through a 4473. Didn't go through a gun shop because you've been adjudicated as a mental patient. That's not going to work out too well. The family, quote, worked with our department to transfer that to an adult who could legally possess one, Sachs said. So the police were openly involved. They knew about this individual. They knew that they had transferred a gun from someone who was a harm to himself and then over here to someone else that wasn't, an adult who could legally obtain it. They even did background checks on the person who could legally obtain it. The point is, criminals are going to criminal. We need more support from mental services. We need more hardening of schools and targets for when those mental services fail. We don't need to curtail the gun rights of an entire legal population because we're ignoring one of the main problems, which is the mental health situations. Let's keep going. I got a couple more things. The family contacted us and said he had a firearm. I believe it had possibly been this gun. The officers, in their response, handed it over to somebody else, an adult who was lawfully able to possess it, Sachs said. If you are already involved, there needs to be a better answer than that. That's just my personal opinion, but you guys can let me know in the comments. And this is the last piece. The shooter's family had been cooperating with police, Sachs said. Quote, the mother, the adult daughter, they worked with him. They kind of had a system where they would track what might come in the mail, his interaction with others, and try to make sure that he's engaging people and that he feels loved, he said. It sounds to me that the family was trying to do everything that they possibly could to protect this individual and society. The police were involved. A gun had already been transferred out of his possession to another adult. Got it anyway. The only thing that is prescribed that has worked in this scenario was hardening the schools. You can look at the multiple reports that are coming out. I might do a video on it, I might not. But it's all about hardening the schools and protecting the vulnerable. It worked. Putting more money in mental funding and mental health care works. However, kicking that stuff out the door because it doesn't have your gun control in it from Chris Murphy, Democratic senator in the Senate, is more putting emphasis on bias and on your personal little pet projects versus actually helping people, which is the entire point of the prescription of the red flag laws, and it's not doing it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.